Hello everyone, my name is Salim and welcome to the Markets Breakdown Analysis for Wednesday, the 25th of October 2023. We'll be breaking down chart through the exact zones where price will close for potential buys or close below for potential sells as well. So looking at the daily candle for Tuesday, so the daily broke above the Monday daily high, respected this daily resistance and now retracing, forming a strong daily resistance around 183.470. Now we're looking at the weekly candle. The weekly candle is retracing, forming a rejection to the upside, respecting this previous weekly candle where it rejected the upside as well. So now the anticipation we've had earlier in the week seems to be coming to play. Because we mentioned how the weekly candle hasn't formed the bottom wick. We've mentioned how this weekly candle closed small bullish, forming weak weekly support around 181.300. And the issue we were facing was this rejection that was formed on a weekly time frame. So now to break down the chart, and since the daily resistance is forming around 183.470, now the anticipation for Wednesday is to see the new daily candle to retrace, forming a top wick, and then when price break below this level, the anticipation is to see a continuation to the downside. Now, the only thing I would say is this retracement is price retracing coming back into this daily consolidation we've seen on the last weekly candle. So based on a weekly, I'd say once price break below this weekly low, now obviously the anticipation is to see a retest of this weekly support. But then the only issue is we need to see how price will react within this daily range. And now to break down the chart and zooming in and dropping down to the 4-hour time frame, what we can see here is we have the most recent 4-hour support formed around 182.130. The most recent 4-hour resistance formed all the way up to around 183.530, dropping down to the hourly time frame. And now we have a new range on the hourly. So we can adjust the level of support around 182.030 based on this hourly support. And we have a new level of resistance, and this is a weak resistance on the hourly time frame around 182.320. Zooming in and dropping down to the 5-minute time frame. Now I'd say for the support it is decent. For the resistance we can adjust it based on this 5-minute resistance around 182.390. Dropping down to the 15-minute time frame. Now here's the thing, so within the 15-minute time frame within the 30-minute time frame we do have this as a no trade zone. Potentially we could have it as a no trade zone, but when you drop down to the 15-minute time frame we have two 15-minute resistances. Now in order to have this as a no trade zone, we need to make sure that we're allowing enough, like let's say enough range for price to consolidate before breaking out of the range. So now we're looking on the hourly, price is trading around 182.230, and this is a really small range, and as we can see this is a really small no trade zone. So what we could do here is the one thing I can see is maybe we could look for potential buys above this hourly high. And the reason why I'm mentioning above 182.510 above this hourly high is because above this hourly high, so within this range we can clearly see price consolidating within this range. But then above 182.510 we have clean traffic, and we have this clean candle to mirror as well on the left. So I would say potential buys could be above 182.510. Potential sells could be below 182.030. And this is going to be the no trade zone. And now to look for potential buys. I'm going back to the daily. So since the daily is forming a strong daily resistance, meaning price is respecting this daily resistance and rejecting the upside on a weekly time frame, now the anticipation is to see a pullback for the new daily candle before the continuation to the downside. So the first thing we can identify here is we have a daily resistance around 183.470. Dropping down to the 4-hour time frame, we have clean traffic, but on the hourly time frame we have this previous 1-hour support. Well, we do have an hourly resistance, but we also have this hourly support. And when you drop down to the 30-minute time frame, we have a 30-minute support, and we also have a 50-minute support as well. So I would personally prefer to have the first target for buys at 182.900, targeting this previous 1-hour support instead of this hourly resistance. And then the second target for buys, now we have a daily resistance. Let's put a line to where the daily resistance has been formed around 183.460. Dropping down to the 4-hour time frame, looking at the hourly. On the hourly we have an hourly resistance again around 183.370. So I'd say the second target for buys could potentially be 183.370, targeting this hourly resistance. And now to look for potential sells and going back to the daily. So as mentioned, the only issue we have here is this daily range. So when looking on a weekly, the weekly, we have a weekly support formed around, that is around 180. Let's just adjust this, 181.290. Drop it down to the daily time frame. Now this is a range. Let's have a look on the 4-hour time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, what do we see? We have a 4-hour support around 181.470. This is roughly around 52 people. This is actually a decent range. Let's have a look on the hourly time frame. On the hourly, again, I would probably stick to the high time frame, because every time I drop down to the low time frame, because of this zone being a range on a daily, this is going to look ugly on the hourly and the 30-minute and the 50-minute time frame. So I'd say the first target for sales could be this 4-hour support around 181.470. The second target for sales, now let's go back to the daily. Actually, so we'll go back to the weekly. So on a weekly, the one thing I can notice is we have this previous weekly support around 180.490. Drop it down to the daily, we have a daily support around 180.140. Drop it down to the 4-hour time frame, and what we can see on the left, we have this previous 4-hour support around 180.900. Looking at the hourly time frame as well, and let's have a look at the recent price action. What do we see? What we can see here is we have an hourly support around 180.100. I would probably stick again to the high time frame. I'd say the second target for sales could potentially be 180.900, targeting the 4-hour support formed on the 5th of October 2023.
Dominion Markets, your trading sanctuary.